Marcus Conte reporting. Where are we today? Where are we today? It's not a hard one to figure out, is it? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Marcus Conte reporting from this emptiness of New York City. What we were told is the epicenter of the coronavirus epidemic. More people have died here than anywhere else in the world, they said. Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for letting me know we're live. And just going to do a little walkie-talkie today. You heard about the Trace Force. Ooh. Trace Force, right out of 1984, George Orwell. It's like the thought police, the Trace Force. We're going to trace your DNA, your biological molecules to see if you're diseased and put you in a pile with the other diseased people. That's what they're saying. Morning, everybody. If you're joining us, just getting into the room. We're down here at the, I guess for the tourists, they call it the 9/11 Monument. I call it Wall Street. There's the, there she is, the Freedom Tower. I come down here just to remember that I think we're facing a new 9/11, right? With this coronavirus, the statistics on when things are going to start to open is now starting to come to life. Cuomo and Newsom and the Clintons are chirping in. Oh, they're going to tell the Clintons, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Chelsea are going to tell you when to open up the economy. You heard? As if things couldn't be more ridiculous. That was a beautiful shot right here, right? So that's the Oculus right there, right? That's like a $50 billion business. I don't know. It's one of the most expensive structures in the area. And the Freedom Tower. Good morning, Vinny D. Martini in the house. Good morning, everybody. See you guys. I see your comments. You can see the comments. So Trace Force is here. And what is Trace Force? Trace Force is, am I overreacting to talk about Trace Force? I don't think so, man. This shit is crazy, right? So Cuomo, the Clintons, and Newsom called for an army of contact tracers. An army of contract tracers to monitor citizens who have been tested for positive for COVID-19 in their contacts. So they're going to start a whole shit. There's ads running. Talk about that in a second, but I want to talk about this. Since we're down here at the Wall Street, there's a beautiful spot over there. And you know why it's so beautiful? Because there's absolutely nothing going on. And if you're from a different neck of the woods, this doesn't mean much to you when you see empty streets and empty spaces. But if you roll the tape back even, 2 or 3 months ago, even in the middle of the winter, this place is packed with people. I mean, packed with, you can't even walk on the sidewalk without getting bumped into. And I just want you to get a feel of how quiet it is down here. It's just, it's just staggeringly quiet. It's eerie. That is the story. Right? Look how quiet. This is what quiet sounds like in New York. I never heard it before. There's no taxis on the road. There's no buses running back and forth. There's no people rushing off to work, stepping over each other to get to the job that they hate. Pushing in front of people on the train. That's my seat. Fuck you. Nothing. It's all gone. Is it better this way? The air, definitely, I got to tell you, the air smells a lot cleaner, too. You see a bus here and there. There's nobody on it. Bus has got like 3 people on it. But I can tell you the air, that bus had maybe 4 people on it. Express buses running with 4 people. That's economically smart, right? But is it better this way? I can tell you the air is much cleaner. I feel safer on the bicycle. I don't feel like I'm going to get run over. So they're going to turn the economy back on, they say. This is St. Paul, by the way. St. Paul was the 9/11. I think I've told you this maybe 10 times already, but the 9/11 church, when all along that fence over there, that's where the people were putting up pictures of their loved ones. If you've seen my loved one, please tell them we love them and we're here for them. That's when people actually thought after 9/11 and it crashed. People were so gaslighted by the media to say that there were, remember when they said that there were pockets, when the buildings fell, that pockets would be created and people could be saved from the falling debris, the falling building. And people believed it. And they said, okay, well, when my loved one comes, or that they were just walking around in the rubble. Now, all the phones were working, everything was working. And they envisioned their loved ones walking around, not being able to get home, not being able to communicate that they were still alive. Right? That's what fear does. That's what it's. I don't know if the word is fear, but that's what. There's like a hallucinogenicness going on right now in a situation like this. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very, very trippy and very, very eerie what's starting to happen here. And it isn't just me. So let's talk about opening up the economy. Cuomo has a 4-phase reopen New York plan. Reopen! So the reopen plan, right now, it's stay-at-home lockdown order, expires May 15. Ooh, it's like 10 days away. 10 days away, the order, the state order, talk about New York, and then New York and California seem to be leading the charge, right, in this lockdown stuff. The economic, oh, it's windy. If you hear wind, that's not my problem. It's your problem. Woo! I'm walking right into the wind. Just down here taking the temperature, man. Just imagining if this is all going to just come screaming back, which I don't think so. So Cuomo's four phases. Phase 1 for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Phase 1, construction, manufacturing, and some retail stores will reopen for curbside delivery. So look at the time frame, May, half of May, and then you're talking about June, all the way to June, phase 1. And then there's three more phases every 2 weeks. You're talking about a gradual reopening all the way into July, past 4th of July, into the midsummer. So that's phase 1, construction, manufacturing. Who the hell knows why they picked any of these? You know, what prioritizes construction over, restaurants? But they put construction, manufacturing, and some retail stores to open for curbside pickup. Phase 2, professional services. More retailers, real estate firms can open in the second 2-week phase. Flags are flying at half mast. You notice that? Flags are at half mast. Not really sure why. For the fallen heroes. Oh, the healthcare workers are the heroes. They're going to get a ticker tape parade for doing their job. So the third phase, phase 3 in New York. So now we're all the way out till mid-June. Yeah, mid-June. More than 5 weeks away, restaurants and bars and hotels are going to open. That's a hotel right there. That's the Millennium Hotel. It's goddamn empty. Right? Empty. A fucking empty hotel. People living on the street, but the hotels are empty. Look how much hotel you got there. All empty beds. People living on the street. Should we house the homeless in the empty hotels? Why not? Why not? Why not? Do the right thing for humanity, right? Help people out. Help a brother out. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Marcus in the morning. If you're joining us late, I'm down here at the in one of the most surreal things I've ever seen is the empty New York City. Part of my empty New York City series. Empty Wall Street. Empty 9/11. Sanitation is working. They're running the brooms. It's a little cold out too. It's like 50 degrees. Still cold. Still cold in mid-May. All right, so that's so mid-June, you can expect a restaurant to open and a bar. And phase 4, finally, cinemas, theaters, and other attractions will open. All the way out into July. What a travesty, what a travesty. Based on no evidence, based on no scientific substantiated evidence. The same for the masks, the same for the 6 foot. Stay 6 feet away from me, motherfucker! That's easy today because there's nobody here. There's nobody here in the Canyon of Dreams, the Canyon of Heroes. Walk over to Zuccotti Park. All right, so that's what's going on there, right? So if you're tuning in late and you tune in because someone said 37% of the time someone will be told to fuck off in one of my videos. You might be disappointed today because there's nobody down here but cops and workers. All right. There's a Brinks truck. Got to pick up the money. It's picking up the money. Picking up the money. So, this is all new down here. This is all. That's the original mosque. People always wonder what that is. It's a mosque over there, and people say, "Oh, they put that up to honor the Muslims." After 9/11. No. That's incorrect. That mosque has been there for a long, long time, many, many years. That mosque was there before, or around the same time, probably before the Twin Towers were up. So if you ever hear that slur, that right-wing conspiracy slur, that they put a mosque in there like a big middle finger to disrespect the fallen heroes, that's actually incorrect. That mosque was there first. I know that to be true. So that's Cuomo's bullshit 4 phases to reopen. Now let's talk about the just a couple other stats too. Treasury has now borrowed $4.4 trillion in 2020, more than the previous 5 years combined. We're here in Zuccotti Park, where in 2011 we told you that the economy is run by a bunch of criminals, criminal bankers who don't give a flying rat's ass about your well-being. There's a rose here. See the rose? I'm right into the sun. Hold on a second. See this beautiful rose? That's the kind of things you see in New York. It's like a sculptor. It's like isn't that cool? What's up, Pat Hacker? Good morning. Vinny DiMartini is in the house. Look at that thing, man. It's a beautiful shot, right? It's surreal. I'll get my head out of the way. And you can enjoy that. It's a rose. It's a big rose in the ground right here. I think it's metal. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's metal. It's a steel rose. Just fucking around today, man. I think the news is going to be, the news is, are the police, how aggressively are the police going to enforce this stay apart nonsense, right? That's one. Yesterday I went down to the East Village at 10th Street and 9th Street and Avenue D, where that gentleman and his girlfriend got attacked by the police because they were too close together in front of a deli. Now I saw the deli. I walked in. I bought cookies in the deli. I went in there. I took a picture of the cat. There's nothing going on there. There's really no story to be told there, because I mean, fake news was there. Channel 7 was there. I didn't even turn the camera on because there was nothing to see. But it is interesting. We should definitely want to follow and see what happens to that cop that brutalized those two people and a third person pointing a taser at them, trying to zap them, right? But there was no real story there, so I just kept it moving, you know. But so let's talk about this Trace Force, right? Trace Force is here. Trace Force. It's like Space Force, but it's Trace Force. To trace you. To trace you from what? To trace your illness, to trace your sickness. And are we coming to chipping and tracking and all this stuff that people worry about? I think we are. I think at this point it's becoming inescapable. Slowly but surely, people are okay with this. They were just told by Cuomo, the governor of the state, that their restaurant can't open for another 2 months. And people aren't outside setting the city on fire. They're still sitting inside. Fear, right? U.S. economy is going to continue to crash because fear is far more powerful. Fear and fear is doing way more damage than any fucking virus ever did, in my humble opinion. Right? So Trace Force, Cuomo, the Clintons, and Governor Newsom from California called for an army of contact tracers to monitor citizens who have been tested positive for COVID-19 and their contacts. So anybody who was tested positive, they were giving away those tests. Oh, go get tested. Now they know who you are and they're going to trace you. They got a whole force coming to trace you. Say, oh yeah, it's okay. Yeah, no. Test. Everybody test. You get on that list and now they're going to trace you. And all your friends. Because you go into the doctor. What happened to medical privacy? What happened to, we don't have that anymore. That's about to go out the window too. You don't even have medical privacy. We're going to trace you and all your friends. Whatever you say to doctors now is traceable. Huh? Right? It's traceable. So, Cuomo also said something so stupid. He said, stay-at-home lockdown orders, this is not a sustainable situation. As if it has to be mentioned, right? How stupid, right? So, it's real. This is a real fucking phenomenon, right? So, in Washington, D.C., they posted job openings to become an investigator with Trace Force. It's legitimate. They did it. It's not coming. It's here. Right? Operating under the Department of Health, a federal agency, they're going to interview those who have been tested positive and have the authority to mandate a quarantine. Based on when you had it and when your last symptoms were, you could be quarantined. If you're just still coming off of the COVID nonsense, you could be quarantined. What is that? What kind of ramification does that have going forward when someone gets sick in an office and tests positive? They have to mandatorily be quarantined for 14 days from their job? Wow. I think we're biting off more than we could chew. You see how it escalates? You see how how that shit escalates, right? It's not going to go away either, right? So here's the stats on it, right? They're saying that the job title Trace Force will be a 13-month appointment. So they're suggesting that they're only going to do it for a little over a year. A year and a month. Right? Just like the 9/11 task force, remember? 9/11 task force was supposed to help us for 9/11, and then it was going to go away. It's 20 years later, they're still here. They're still on the fucking corner with rifles and you know and tanks. This is here to stay. This isn't going anywhere. But the lie is 13-month appointment for the job title, entry level, $51,000 to $65,000 per year. Wow. Just sign up for that. A lead investigator, $76,000 to $97,000 a year to be a trace investigator. If you're wondering why I'm so clumsy, I'm walking on top of the chairs right now. That's just because I can, right? There's nobody here. I love it. It's just me and the guy. There's a guy over there mopping. He's literally mopping the park. Mopping the park, right? So that's a lead investigator and a management investigator. $119,000 a year to $167,000 a year. 167 grand to manage Trace Force. Wow. They're spending some bucks on this. You think it's just going to come and go? That shit is here to stay, man. It's here to stay. This is just in DC alone, hiring 900 people total. They already have them. They already have some. And now they're hiring up to 900 people. What does it mean? It's just like the Ministry of Truth and the you know, right? Privacy out the window. Medical privacy about to expire in our lifetime. You can't have medical privacy. You might be sick. We have to know what's in your blood, motherfucker. We have to know, and we have to determine if you could work with us, if you're allowed to be around us. We can't have you. You'll get us sick. You'll poison the pool. You'll poison the snack room. You have germs. Germs. Hey, can I ask you what you're doing? Are you mopping the park?
Well, I'm mopping it also over there.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Guy gave me a dirty look. So I brought him into my frame. I had to try to cool him down a little bit, man. He's looking at me like I'm walking through his park and I'm not supposed to. People get so possessive of their jobs. It's crazy. So we're going into your ass, man. We're going into your vein, and we're gonna see what's in there, because you know what, man, you might not be able to work for us anymore if you don't get that shot, right? If you don't get the shot in the ass, the vaccine, it's coming. We're getting the vaccine. It's good for you. That's what Bill Gates said, and they're gonna give you that vaccine, and if you don't take it, well, no, you don't have to take it. It's not mandatory. It's not a mandatory vaccine. We wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do that in this country. We wouldn't have mandatory anything, right? But if you want to work, you want to work for the city? You have to have the vaccine, because you might pollute you might poison the well. You might poison those people who have no immune systems because they've been hiding in their fucking houses for a half a year. And they're walking around wearing masks and squirting alcohol on everything. And you're going to get them sick. You are going to get them sick because you have immunity. You're immune to this shit. You can walk around all the fuck you want. You're immune. But we're not going to let you near those other people. You dig? Right? That's what's going on, right? So Trace Force. What's up, everybody? Good morning. We're down here at I'm here at Zuccotti Park. This is the infamous Zuccotti Park where the Wall Streeters won, where those fine people, you remember the young people, they held their ground at Zuccotti Park at the Occupy Wall Street movement. It was full of tents and people banging drums and sleeping and living in the park to make a statement. And, 9 years later, who won? Oh man, did the oligarchy win. They won in rare form. Now they can lock you in your house. You think the bankers are locked in their house? You think that the Bilderberg crew, the Bilderberg crew, the crew of billionaires that sit around eating shrimp and shrimp cocktails are separated and isolated in their little cubicles and walking around the street with masks on and lining up in front of Whole Foods? Are you out of your fucking mind? Those people's lives are luxurious right now. They're trying out their caves, their rich person caves that they build in the Hamptons. You heard about those? That's real. I'm not making that up. They have bunkers, underground bunkers where they go in there. It's like 4 rooms and a bathroom and air conditioned, swimming pool, food for 2 years. Do you have that? Hey, poor people, do you have that? Do you have what the Bilderberg crew has? Bill Gates and his fuckers? Bill Gates could stay up in a plane for a month. Or that jackoff driving around on his boat, Geffen? What, David Geffen? The 50 billionaire, David Geffen, or 20 billionaire? He's driving around, he's floating around on a boat in the Caribbean somewhere. Or in the Cayman Islands, or wherever he is. And he has a helicopter landing. The helicopter comes down, drops some supplies. He just stays on the boat, right? He stays on the 100-foot yacht. You have that? Oh, you don't have that. You have to stay in your house because you got nowhere else to go. That's okay. The Trace Force is going to help you. You should join the Trace Force, right? When in doubt, join the enemy, right? Trace Force, right? And if that doesn't scare you, if that's okay with you, if you have no problem, a manager at Trace Force making $167,000 a year to invade your medical privacy and bully you into possibly vaccinating and mandate your stay at home, well, if that doesn't bother you, maybe this will. Right? So China. Pompeo is on the news all day long, right? Pompeo, Trump, Pence, bashing the shit out of China, creating China as the villain in this whole thing. It's China's fault that the economy crashed. It's China's fault that our stores are closed. It's China's fault that people are losing their minds in isolation. China, Wuhan, right? That's what they're going round the clock. Mike Pence, mostly led by Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, former director of the CIA, Trump's swamp, for lack of a better term, is saying it all the time. And China, according to the latest press, is getting pissed off. China warns about armed conflict with us, with the U.S. over coronavirus smears and lies. I mean, you're kicking a sleeping giant, right? You keep kicking China, right? You're never gonna get underwear and socks for $1 anymore. Those 99-cent stores where you got all cheap stuff, that shit is over, man. All the pharmaceuticals that they make, fuck you, man. They're gonna renege on all their treasury bonds, and maybe that's what Trump wants. Maybe that's the genius of Trump. Oh, fucking, there you go, man. Trumpsters, I figured it out for you. Now you can start the conspiracy. Trump is such a fucking genius. Oh my God, he's so fucking smart. Oh, I love that guy. I love Trump, President Trump. I love him. Mwah. He's fucking brilliant. Brilliant. He's such a brilliant mind. It's brilliant, right? That's what you're thinking because he planned the whole thing. The only way to disrupt the corporations is to fuck over China. Fuck over China. If you fuck over China, you don't have to fuck over the corporations. Give the corporations all the money they want and vilify the guy who's making the shit for them. It makes perfect sense, right? Because if you really want to, so you want to fuck over the corporations and make them pay tax and bring all the jobs back home and get it out of China, so vilify China and let them throw a couple of bombs at us, right? Start a war. Ah, Trump is a genius, man. He's so oh my God, it's such a savvy move, right? Venezuela too. Fuck them. You heard? Start a rumor that the Maduro, the leader, the elected president of Venezuela, is a drug dealer, is a drug lord. Start that rumor and sink their country too, and guess what? We'll get the oil. We'll get the oil from under their feet. Right? That makes sense. Now I get it, man. Trump is a fucking genius, man. He figured this whole thing out. He's playing 4D chess with the world. Oh, love that Trump, man. I love him. Fucking wow. Wow. What an age to live in when you got leadership like that. Right? So Pompeo and the rest of them are going to continue to smear the shit out of China until they start China is talking President Xi, whatever his name is saying, a warning of potential armed conflict. Wow. I mean, they don't stand a chance. We'll flatten them, but that's just the idea that China is just fed up with the attacks and the smears, right? Right? They're fed up with it, right? You got propagandists, right? You got them online too. Jerkoff said, call you this, that, and the other thing. They say you're a fucking communist. They say you're a socialist. They say you're working with this one, and you're in a conspiracy to overthrow that one, and filing frivolous bullshit in courts and signing it under perjury. You got crazy people, man. Crazy people online, but also crazy people in this life running our country. Excuse me while I blow my nose. Excuse me. And I'm back. Am I? Mm-hmm. La 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 la. Ah, pigeon's trying to get some pussy. Ever watch when one pigeon chases the other pigeon? Come here, pigeon. Come here, pigeon. I want to get some. I want to get some chicken. Just following her around. Chicken chase. Pigeon chase. So quote, the wave of China sentiment is led by U.S., which sees China as a global superpower threat. Right? And Pompeo is leading that charge. Is that true? Oops, excuse me. Is that true? I just yanked my cord. Hold on a second. Yes, it's true. Of course it's fucking true. That's exactly what Pompeo and the rest of the idiots are doing. Right? They're painting China as the villain to destabilize China because you got to blame somebody, man. You can't take responsibility for all of this nothingness going on right now. Blame somebody. No reason in the world why this shit should be closed down. Not a reason in the world. But let's blame China. Another 2 more months of shutdown with no scientific evidence to support it. Now, I'm your favorite New York guinea pig. I walk around all day long, every day, outside, interacting with people. I don't have no fucking mask on. I put it on once in a while because if I want to go into a store, I won't be allowed in, or if I want to sit on the subway, I won't be allowed in. Right? But other than that, for the most part, I walk around all day long with no, if anybody was going to get sick, it would have been me. It just didn't happen. It didn't happen. It won't happen. Right? I caught the flu earlier. I'm immune. Right? It's all nonsense, right? But blame fucking China, man. Fucking China. Get the trace force, man. Double down. Double down on the error. That's what trace force is. It's doubling down on the error. It's like we made an error, but no. We can't admit the error. Let's double down. And that's bureaucracy. That's oligarchy in action. Because the motion, the business minds are already in motion. Who's going to capitalize on it? Who's going to make the most money on it? Right? Right? And once you hire somebody for trace force, even if the contract says a year and 1 month, it'll go on forever. They'll just when no one's looking, they'll give them another year and then another year and then indefinitely. Right? And you'll have this thing going on forever, right? So the anti-China thing is a problem in my view. I think it's a problem. It's always a problem when you're battling with, when you're making up lies about people, and those people are kind of big and have nuclear weapons, kind of equal in size and breadth to yours. All right, let's head down to how long have we been going? Got a little time. Go down to Wall Street, see what's going on over there. I got stuck in the park here talking. So if you're joining us late, Mark's Conte reporting from downtown New York, reporting on the nothingness. I gave you the news in there in Zuccotti Park. Well, look at Broadway, man. Up and down Broadway. Ain't a goddamn thing going on. Peaceful and quiet. Except for that drill in the background. So good morning, everybody. Magazug, Zog, Vinny DiMartini is in the house. It's in the house. Liz Varad, how are you, man? How are you? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I can see the chat now. I can see the chat in my... I'll give you the graveyard side. That's the graveyard. Trinity Church. Pretty beautiful, right? What's up, Quantum Epic? Joel Whitworth is here. George's son, Dan Worth, Joe Dokes. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. We're down here on Wall Street in the emptiness of New York City. The ongoing series of nothingness, and if you've ever been here, you know that this area is full of angry suits and ties walking back and forth, pushing you out of the way to get to their money, to get to their money maker. All right? And what's this over here? People lining up to get into the Manc. I don't know what's going on over there. It looks like something's going on. A little bit of people just lining up. Wow, just to use the ATM. You see how the banks are working it? Oh, you want your money? Line up outside, motherfucker. That's a line for your money. Ah, you see how they prevent a bank run? You can't come in. We control the line. We control the line for your money. Wow. Wow. Is this a line for the money? Yeah. TD bank? You got to line up to get your own money, right? That's crazy. Confirmed. What a time we're living in, boy. I tell you, man. I tell you. I'm doing good, man. I haven't told anybody to go fuck themselves yet. It's pretty good. I was in New York Stock Exchange. There's nobody in here. It's not even open. Stocks are still trading. They're still trading up. On what? Stock market's up. Why? Because you just gave them $1 trillion. That's why. They take that money and they rally. They sit there and play with that money that the feds gave them, the $2 trillion, $3 trillion, and they trade their own stocks up. While you're starving to death, they're throwing around free money at each other. And we call that an economy. Yeah. Give them $1 trillion of play money, monopoly money, and throw it around, and we'll call that an economy. This is an interesting building. I never talked about it, but I'll talk about it now. This is Washington Hall, I believe it's called, Federal Hall. Federal Hall is where George Washington was inaugurated. George Washington was inaugurated inside of this building, Federal Hall, here in New York City. Now, I don't know if New York was originally one of the original first capital, or why it happened here, but nonetheless, that's George Washington Federal Hall. And over here is the New York Stock Exchange. We're here on Wall Street. All right, there's the church at the end of the block. That's one way. There's nobody here. There's nobody here. Empty Wall Street. Empty. Guy playing with his kids. So, wow. That's really all I got today for you. That's all I got right now for you. I'm going to get back on the horse. Try to go pick a fight. So, Trace Force, man. Congratulations, man. New jobs. Say jobs. Trump is creating jobs. The hair in my mouth. Trump is creating a great economy for all of us. He's creating jobs, right? See? You could work here at the New York Stock Exchange and you could, right? You could help yourself, right? You could help yourself. So this girl right here, she wanted to help herself, but she had a different idea. She has a different idea. And what is your idea? What is your idea, determined girl? What is your idea? You're pissed off, aren't you? You are pissed off at you're pissed off at the power brokers, aren't you? You're pissed off that they're taking all the money. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. You are pissed off that they are taking your money. They're taking away your any chance of you competing in this world because of your age and because of your shallow pockets. And it will just be impossible for you to compete in this global economy because you're just a little girl, aren't you? You are just a little girl. Is that your problem? Is that why you're so upset? Look at it this way. At least you have a nice spot in the world. At least you get to hang out in front of the New York Stock Exchange. Wow, she had a lot to say, right? So, Marcus Conte reporting. Kindly become a Patreon of this fine work that we're doing here. Very trippy work these days. It seems like hallucinogenically influenced work. Right? It's just, I don't know what it is about this area, but what's going on in the city. Maybe we're being chemically induced. Right? There's no more chemtrails. The skies are blue. The air is clean. They're mopping the sidewalks. Look at this. They're literally mopping the sidewalks down here. So head over to marcusconte.com and do me a favor. That's very helpful. to hit the buttons, hit around watch some links over there, and it causes the search engines to find us and find this fine work. I become a Patreon too for just like $2 a month is very helpful, and thank you all for the people that are sending PayPal. I really appreciate it. I don't say much about it because I hate to be advertising all day long with this because it's kind of silly, but I don't know. I need to get the Patreons up to about 100, a minimum 100 people. That would be nice if we could do that by the time this is all over. So anyway, Marcus Conte reporting. MarcusConte.com. Head over there, and we'll continue. Thank you everybody for joining us. Pat Hackett, thank you very much for being here. Jason Walsh in the house. Christina Stockhouse. Yeah, it's my city, man. This is all I know, really. I don't know much else, but the city I know. Jim Gerard, thank you. Joe Dokes. Right at your fingertips, folks. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for being here. Cheers, mate. Cheers to you, MB, Tony Yao, Chris, Mike. Good crowd. Thank you, guys. If you got timed out in the thank you, Vinny DiMartini, for your fine moderation. If you got timed out, that's your problem. That's for you being a dick. Don't be a dick in the chat, and you won't get timed out, man. Right? Proactive is here. Jason Walsh. Thanks for letting me rant today. Thank you for listening. And Laura out there, how are you? Liz Rivard, joining us on this empty day here in New York City. Mike, Chris Mike. Notice I can go a little longer. My battery isn't crashing. I figured something out. So, all right, everybody. Marcus Conte reporting.